Good morning, Lightlings. I am back. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I am still hanging in there. I just wanted to say hello and kind of touch base. I have been definitely working through some stuff. Yay to all the shadow work and yeah. Anyway, it's all good. It's a beautiful day on my way to work as normal. I just wanted to kind of bring up a subject that most people don't want to talk about ever. Death. I'm starting to notice that seems to be where Spirit's leading me. To guide people, and I don't mean guide like a death doula. I mean like what happens after death. Well, first, grief is a huge thing. Sorry if there's a lot of ums and ahs in this. I thought about what I was gonna say last night, but my brain tends to forget after I've thought about other things. But anyway, grief. I mean, what is grief? Grief is a deep emotion that we feel when we've lost someone or something. For example, loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of, moving, having to go somewhere, getting divorced. Those are all things to grieve. Loss of a way of life, a lifestyle. It's difficult. It's difficult to make changes. As humans, psychologically, we don't like change. And I get that. I don't like change either. But again, I am one to embrace change because it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Same thing with death. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So what do we do? What do we do with grief? Most of the time, people want to ignore it. They want to pretend it's not there. They want to say, you know what? Just move on. You've grieved enough. It's been like a week, so I don't understand. And then psychologically, if you go to a psychiatrist or a therapist or something, they have the stages of grief that they talk about, which I'm not against. They are amazing steps to understanding what you're going through. However, I think each individual has their own definition of grief, has their own limitations, has their own experience with it. I don't think that you can put 5, what do we got? Denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance, and I always forget the other one. It'll come to me eventually. I'm also trying to focus on driving, so I'm not probably doing so well. But you've got the 5 stages of grief. And in Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she did her research. She did very well, and it helps. But there's also something that I've noticed as a funeral director that's deeper, that's more. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't just go through the stages once. You go through them over and over and over, and it can be years upon years later that you're still going through these stages. They get lighter. It's like cyclical. It's never in one pattern. Like sometimes, for example, I'll take my life for example. I lost my mom 20 years ago, almost 21, and I go through all the emotions still. She died suddenly. I know she's in a better place. It was a shock, but I also know who my mom was, and I don't have regrets of not knowing her. And we were fairly close. I wasn't there when she passed. I wish I had been, but I can't guilt myself. And I think that's the other one, guilt in the grief, the 5 things of grief. But depression, that's what it is. So, you can't let yourself feel, I should have been there, I should have done this, because again, that's kind of part of the bargaining. Like, what if I was there? Nothing would have changed. It would have ended up the same. My mom was stubborn. She was sickly most of my childhood, adult life. Not sickly in the sense she couldn't take care of herself, but in the sense that, she had diseases, and they were trying to basically just putting band-aids on them so that way, she could function in life. I don't want to do that with my own life. I have some diseases, but not anything like what my mom had. Nothing that's detrimental to my life. It's just annoying. And but anyway, getting back to grief, I digress very quickly and easily all the time. So I just very much I think that those 5 stages of grief are wonderful starting points. I think that the biggest is David Kessler, I believe is his name, and he's coming out with a wonderful format for communities to come together and talk about grief. I mean, you have to talk about it. You can't just sit there and watch somebody be depressed and not do something, especially if if you're part of that person who had that loss, and you're part of their community, you're part of their, and when I say community in this sense, I mean their family, their inner circle. You should step in and help them out. You should be like, hey, it's not, let's work on this together. I personally feel we're all connected. There's somebody out there in Timbuktu or Xanadu or wherever who is connected to me, and I'm connected to them. There's a bunch of people out there, we're all connected. We just don't know each other, so we're not closely connected like we would be if we knew each other. So think about that connection that you have with those in your inner circle, and you've lost a connection. You've lost that. It's gone. Like a Christmas light bulb that goes out, and you're looking at the strand, and it's just not right. It's wrong. There's something wrong. You could change the light bulb, but it's still not the same. And you know it. Deep down, you know it. It doesn't matter what drugs you take. It doesn't matter how you fulfill your mind with just busyness, and it doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. It's still there. It's still underlying. So maybe what we need to do is think of that connection and feel those emotions that we feel about the connection that we lost. And I don't mean to make it sound insensitive, because connections to me are real, and they're a very big and huge thing in the world. Every connection. You may not, I am an empath. I don't know if I mentioned this in the past, but I am an empath, so I do feel the connections. I feel them. Like when they're not there, when something's wrong, I feel it, I know it, and it hurts. It hurts me. And I may not necessarily, as a funeral director, I wasn't a part of the inner circle, but I still felt that connection. So I don't know if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, I will be more happy to elaborate if anybody wants. But I do want to say this. It's not easy to go through grief, especially if you're alone. I've seen bad things. I've seen worse things. You shouldn't leave your family members alone. And I don't mean like not living with them. I just mean checking in on them, saying, hey, I'm coming down, or let's go to lunch, or something. Your neighbors, your people you care about, people that you know. And, you know, just your presence sometimes is enough. Sometimes that's all they need. Sometimes they're sad. They're going through this grief. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm rambling. But anyway, I do want to say that if you are having deeper emotions than that, like that, you do feel you need therapy, you do need to talk to somebody, you want to hurt yourself, please get help, because it will not be good for the rest of your connections. They will feel that, and then they too will have to go through that, and it's going to be a domino effect. Even though you think at the moment it's going to solve, it's not. It doesn't solve it. It makes things worse for everybody around you. And I'm not saying that people who commit suicide, which now I'm going to be bleeped because I said that word, whoopsies. But anyway, that when that happens, when we think of doing that, is it selfish? I mean, it's a way to feel better. And, you know, sometimes that medication don't work. Sometimes those doctors can't help. Sometimes the therapists aren't hitting the right spot, and it sucks. And I'm sorry if anybody's going through that. But please, you know, do what you need to do to get help. Now moving on. Again, that's another difficult subject, but we'll talk about that another time. But grief, we've all got to deal with it. We all see it. We see it every day. You can't put blinders on. You're going to see it. You're going to know it. You're going to feel it. And ignoring it doesn't help. It's like saying I need to stop smoking, but you keep smoking. Or saying I need to lose weight and you keep not doing the things you need to do to lose the weight. I mean, it's like that. It's there. It's underlying. It's always going to be there. It doesn't go away. And I think that us as a community, us as people who notice, I feel that it can't hurt for us to, you know, be there for someone. And I don't know if any of that makes sense. I don't even know if I said everything that I wanted to. I had a really good conversation with myself about it last night, but I think it went away. I will definitely work on my wording and all of that, and go from there. I just, you know, felt it in my heart that I needed to talk about grief a little bit, and it does cause damage. I'll get into another after a little bit more research, so I get my mind in a systematic order. I can go ahead and do a better video about it. So I care about all of you. I love all of you. I think all of us have our moments of joy. We have our moments of sadness and our moments of anger. And I feel that we need to feel the emotions, but just not sit with them, especially the grief emotion. Let it be. Know it's there. Understand why you're feeling it. If you have to do shadow work and you are able, do it. If you need to see a therapist or talk to somebody who can help you in a hospital or medical setting, then do that. I am also a grief support or bereavement support. I wouldn't call myself a counselor. I would call myself just a guide, like a life coach. I'm more of a grief coach. I can help walk people through it too. If you do need something, you can even contact me through YouTube and emails and stuff like that, and I'll get back to you. So don't ever think that you don't matter, because you do. So I love all my lightlings, and I want everybody to do well. So have a great day, and remember, you are loved and you are light.